Hey, welcome back to Pop Trigger. We're going to be doing another edition of Hey, Whatever Happened To? It's where we take a figure from the pop consciousness and we say, hey, whatever happened to that person? And Amir is going to be presenting this week for the first time in what feels like forever. And Amir, you've chosen quite a gem, a question that has been on everybody's mind. Tell us, whatever happened to...
Yeah, Grace, you just told us about how much you love coffee. You might even say it's part of your family. Well, this guy, chicken nuggets is his family. Take a look.
I really do like chicken nuggets. They're good.
Curtis, what you want for breakfast?
Chicken nuggets.
Okay.
Chicken nuggets is like my family. I'm going to go see if she's got chicken nuggets.
Oh my God. I don't know, it kills me every time when I see that. That's Curtis Holland from Wife Swap in 2009. Which,
good show.
Great show, actually. And I thought it was earlier than 2009. All these videos on YouTube, they look so much older than they actually are.
2009, that was basically a decade ago. So
it was
wild.
So he kind of blew up into fame after doing that Wife Swap episode, and a big part of it was just he was this cute little kid that was just so contrarian to everything that was thrown at him.
And he was so contrarian. He was nicknamed King Curtis by his family because he'd be so stubborn.
Not to be confused with the great American saxophonist Rhythm and Blues. Anyway,
named King Curtis.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I found that out while researching this.
Goodness.
But yeah, he just did not want to play along with the new rules that the wife that came and swapped in.
So to explain a little bit of the premise of Wife Swap, because when I was depressed, I watched a lot of episodes of this show. Wife Swap, there's nothing sexual about it, even though that's what I initially thought when you say that you're swapping wives. I mean, that's where my brain goes. What happens is they take two families with very different lifestyle choices, and they swap the wives just to see if they could, learn something from each other. It really is a lesson on empathy if you break it down, and just about how they do things and how the wife has to adapt to this family's rules, and then the family has to adapt to this wife's rules and mothering techniques and discipline and all that stuff. And King Curtis was put with a mother who was very healthy and all about fitness, so she was not too keen on his chicken nugget love, so they changed that, and he didn't take too well to
breakfast.
It. That's a choice.
Yeah. Anyway, so after Wife Swap, he was actually laid down low for a while. I mean, he was a kid.
Right. I was like, he didn't lay down low. I think he went back to school.
Yeah, he went back to school. I think 6 years later, though, he came back after Lucy Hale from Pretty Little Liars.
I'm aware.
Tweeted out whatever happened to you. So he came out and started a GoFundMe and said, I'm still alive, I'm still here, please give me some money.
Whoa, he's kind of cute.
Yeah, he grew up. And he's from North Carolina. He likes hunting and doing that kind of stuff. But he started a GoFundMe, and that didn't really go anywhere. He took it down not that long afterwards.
What was the GoFundMe for, pray tell?
Education.
Okay.
Yeah.
For a college fund or something like that. All right.
And then in 2016, actually, he appeared with his dad on Pawn Stars. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and they didn't really even make a big deal out of it, but...
Did they say you're King Curtis or you're the chicken nugget boy?
I don't think so.
That feels like a missed opportunity.
Yeah,
that feels like a producer did not do sufficient research.
He brought a very old video camera from the 1920s or something, and was trying to sell it, and he wanted to sell it so he can get money for a new car or something. And he was hoping he would get at least $800 for it. And the guy was like, I'll give you $100 for this.
Yikes.
And then he countered with $400, and he's like, nope, I am not giving you more than $100. And that was it. And they left, that was his episode. And that was the last thing he really did. Other than that, he's been interviewed a lot by some different news outlets from Europe and the UK because they love the meme so much.
Really?
Yeah, and for the most part, he's like, I don't want to be a TV star or anything. I don't want to be a movie star. I want to be a welder. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do right now. He did mention actually, though, after the Wife Swap episode, because how popular he was, they came and shot a pilot with him, and they wanted to make a show surrounding King Curtis.
Yeah.
And they shot it, and they just never went anywhere.
That's interesting because this, I think 2009 predates Honey Boo Boo, where we saw on TLC that you could have a show centered around the antics of the child and the family, where previously it was either a family as a whole or it was the matriarchs or patriarchs of the family. But with Honey Boo Boo, she was the center of that family, and I wonder how things would have been different if the market would have changed for a King Curtis centered show. Even though I don't think that. I mean, the whole thing kind of makes me feel gross when you have a kid that doesn't fully understand the implications of fame and the limelight, or specifically with regards to reality television and how invasive it can be. That's like a whole other conversation and murky territory. But I think that ultimately, it's nice to know that he values his privacy and he just wants to be a regular person. And he had this kind of bizarre viral moment happen when he was a spoiled kid growing up. And the thing is that he got a lot of flack for being and coming across so entitled and so spoiled, and his nickname King Curtis certainly didn't help that perception of him. But if we're being honest, every kid goes through a spoiled, entitled, bratty phase. It's just
some more than others.
Right, some more than others, and certainly not, thank goodness, not all of it's filmed. But I was an absolute bitch. I don't know if I can say that word on air when I was like 13. I was just so mean to my dad out of nowhere. Thank goodness we didn't have a wife swap situation.
Really?
Yeah, I was just for no reason, just because I had my feelings and I was probably like internalizing my own sexuality, and so I was just like, you suck, you priest, like out of no, you know what I mean? Like he's a super loving and kind Episcopal priest, and I would just say awful things to him. We yesterday found King Curtis on social media, and just to be as thorough as possible, here is what his bio says. It's on private. It says Curtis Holland, WCHS, so it's probably the high school he goes to. Ducks, deer are my life. God is first. So no longer chicken nuggets. And he has a small follower count. I don't think that, so basically.
He's just a person, which is
it just sort of
cool.
corroborates what you said. He's not looking for the limelight. He did have kind of a crazy moment where he came into the pop consciousness. He became a viral sensation before there was really too much of an example of how to extend that into any sort of longevity.
So how I got introduced to him was not like after that episode aired in 2009. It was actually later on Instagram. He always makes the rounds, like at least once a year, this meme goes around of that chicken nuggets thing. And yeah, I have a lot of friends and myself who love chicken nuggets, and it just, we can relate to it. Chicken nuggets have been there for me. So like when he says chicken nuggets is my family, I'm like, I think about the darkest times of my life when I was in my deepest depression. I had 40 little friends to help me there.
You had 40 chicken nuggets?
Dude, that's what I would do. Like at least once a week. I was so depressed, I would just go to McDonald's, get a 40-piece and just smash that.
You can get a 40-piece from McDonald's?
There was a special for a while. It was like $10 for 40 nuggets.
But aren't you suspicious of that? Like that to me seems like a trick. I mean, they're practically giving it away. Like why don't they don't want that anymore. They're like, hey, you, no, you. Like
it was the best promotion ever.
And they stopped.
I don't do that anymore though.
Yeah.
I've worked on a lot of things in my life since then.
You're like, I've got clean since then.
I have.
And that's why I relate to King
Sometimes
Curtis.
I drive by a Mickey D's though and I just like look over and it's like that relapse is imminent.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah.